Hello, my writing friends. I have just finished dealing with a whole stack of jobs and chores that I have to do to get my book out. And I thought it would be a good time to make a video on what my process is when it comes to putting a book out, or more to the point, marketing the book. I am sure you already know how to upload a book to Amazon. This is the next stage, how you market it so that people will actually find your sales page when it goes up. So if that's something you think you might be interested in, please settle down, grab your tea. I have mine here. And yeah, I'll see if I can make sense of all the stuff that I do. Now, can I just have a little disclaimer here? I put a book out every month, pretty much. And I have developed this system over 11 and a half years. So, but a lot of what I might suggest may not be applicable to you. So please just cherry pick the things that you feel would be most valuable. You should have already seen videos that I've put out on getting set up and how important it is to think about marketing even before you start writing your book. So now this is the next stage. This is the thing. This is the time. I have uploaded my book to Amazon. In fact, as I'm recording this, Scar Bonds is currently on pre-order, The Scars That Bind Us, if you're interested. And now, oh, excuse me. And now this is all the stuff that goes on between now and release day, and then what happens after that. So I'm going to preface this by saying my marketing for Scar Bonds actually started on the 20th of last month. Now that is when my new release went out. I believe that one was Magical Beasts. And so once that book has gone out, it is still promoted for another 2 weeks across various Facebook groups mostly. But I then start in my regular posting to my social media profiles. I start talking about Scar Bonds. So it's little things. It's not, oh, I'm writing a book. It's more like, say, for example, I quite often go onto real estate sites in America to find houses that might fit the area where my characters live. And I might share links to those on my profile, on my Facebook profile, or on my TikTok, or on my whatever, to say, oh, this is such and such. This is where somebody's going to live. This is something, where I thought this would be a great house for this couple, blah, blah, blah. And I drop little things like this. So I'm letting the readers know that I am writing another book, or I'm, got one just about finished. And I also, I take little screenshot snippets of my document so that they can see, if something's funny, or if I've made a spelling mistake or something that actually turns out to be quite funny. Ask me about cook and cock, and it can happen. So this is what I'm doing in the prelude to my pre-order. Now, my books go up on pre-order on the 6th of the month. So on the 6th of the month, I put the book up onto Amazon. Now, I don't know if it's because I have been doing this for so long and I have got so many books on Amazon, but typically my books take about 2 hours for the link to come back to me. It can take longer. It can take up to 3 days. And Amazon tell you this when you upload your book to Amazon. So what I do is, after I've put it up onto the machine and click submit, then I go into my private Facebook group and I show them my cover, my blurb. I let them know I've uploaded it. Then I usually go and have dinner and get an early night, because by then I'm knackered. But what my lovely readers do is that they keep an eye out, because they're American. I'm in New Zealand. So, I've got them in America and Europe and everywhere else. And so they will keep an eye out for the link. And when it comes through, They share it in the group for me. So I usually, provided Amazon's done everything it's supposed to do, and assuming I've done everything right, I usually wake up to a few pre-orders when I get up the next day, which is lovely. But that's just the start of it. There will be 2 weeks from when the book went up on pre-order to when it is release day. And in that time, before the 6th, I will have already had commissioned a whole stack of graphics, promotional graphics that are ready to go, that say coming soon, pre-order now, this sort of thing, right? I used to do all those graphics myself, but I now hire my daughter, and I find I'd rather pay the money than do the time. You know what I mean? So anyway, that probably didn't come out right either, but never mind. I have a whole stack of graphics then, which are then uploaded. Now, I did write this down. Where is it? It is roughly promoted across Facebook groups. My daughter came up with a list. We have a spreadsheet, and it's around, I think it's about 70 odd reader groups on Facebook in my genre. And she has them linked and how many subscribers they've got and everything else like that. And over the course of 2 weeks, she will post roughly 5 to 10 posts a day, 5 days a week. And then I'm, in the meantime, on the weekends, going in and posting stuff on my profile, stuff on my private group, or whatever else. But there's that whole machine. There's a whole point is you need to be promoting every day. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. Number one, Facebook really stuffs things around about showing your readers your posts. So ideally, you need to scatter it everywhere for your readers to be able to see it. The second thing is that apparently, for some reason, apparently there was a study done on it or something, but apparently a person needs to see something at least 3 times before they hit the link for it. So again, it needs to be spread far. It needs to be spread wide, but it needs to be spread to the people who are more likely to buy it. Do not go into thinking that it is far better to promote to everyone in the world, because it's far too much time and it's not worth the effort. Honestly, targeted marketing in Facebook groups, despite the problems that Facebook has, is still by far the most effective way if you want people to buy your books. Now, you might be saying, but Lisa, what about TikTok? What about BookTok? I was watching a video the other day, and the woman there was saying to me that, yes, TikTok might be good for getting the book out, especially if you've come up with this amazing thing. Like, I'm not a cosplayer. I can't cosplay my characters or do things like that. But there are people who have. However, for all the hundreds of thousands of views they've got, those views did not translate to sales. Now, I'm not saying don't do TikTok at all. TikTok's on my list. However, what I am saying is, if you want people, reader groups on Facebook are for people who read. And if you get them genre specific, they are looking for books like yours. So target your marketing to where it will count. But yes, it's not only going across all these different groups. In the space of 2 weeks, every one of those groups will be covered. There is also, where am I? My cover, blurb, and link will also go into my newsletter within the day or so of it going up on pre-order. It will also go on my blog, and it will also go on my Patreon. My Patreon is a reader's Patreon as well. So again, that's, I have a lot of free members on my Patreon, And why I set that up was because, again, the Facebook algorithm is not always fair. And there are a lot of other platforms. Well, there's the odd occasional platform that I will not use on principle. And so by encouraging people to also sign up for free for my Patreon, I do 1 or 2 posts a week that are just for my freebies, that tells them the books that are coming up next, tells them what I've been doing. I'll do a video or something and let them know what I'm doing. And that's public, that's free. They don't have to pay for that. But the people who pay for my Patreon get a copy of a free download link for my book on release day, because that's what I do. But anyway, that's I got off. Look, I wrote notes. I'm supposed to be paying attention to my notes. But anyway, as I say, 2 weeks from the 6th to the 20th, my book is promoted 5 to 10 times a day. You've got to be really careful. You cannot spam. You have to use different posts, because otherwise Facebook will shut down your account for spam. And even if they just suspend it for a day, when you're in the middle of trying to promote your book, that is the most hair-pulling thing. And ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Anyway, we also have a set of TikTok and Instagram Reel videos. They double up. You can use them for both. And they are just the typical slideshow things, POV things, blah, blah, blah. All to do, using graphics and images and everything else with text teasers from my books. Those also go out. So those are on TikTok and Instagram Reels. And I also make posts on Blue Sky and Threads. All of that in 2 weeks. All right. But when you've got a system, it is a lot. But when you've got a system, and my daughter, bless her heart, is the most systematic person I know. It's incredible. So that all gets done. I am also still sending out little teasers for my books in my profiles, in my various things. I was thinking about this today, and it's so funny, and it relates to something in my book or whatever else. As I say, none of it is exactly buy now, except it's more teasing a reader with what might be with what is in there, in the hopes they might be interested and click the link. So you've done all this, and the 20th comes, which is release day. And that's when you send out another, mass thing. It's out now, it's out now, it's out now. So it goes out now on probably the top 5, the top Facebook groups that have got the most subscribers in. It goes out now on my private group, on my author page, on my profile page, on my newsletter, on my blog. Like, you see the thing? Everybody, out now, out now, out now, everywhere. Okay. And the really, really neat thing about doing pre-orders is that those pre-orders count as sales on one day, in one 24-hour period, depending on where your reader is from. And that helps boost your book up the rankings, your genre rankings. And that is really handy when you're having a new release. If you can get into the new release top 100 for your genre, you're doing really well. If you can get into the top 1,000 of Amazon overall, you are doing really well. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, what? I'm ranking 599 or something? Do you know how many sales you have to get to rank to 599 on Amazon? Believe me, it's a good thing. So that's why you do that. And then after release day, that book is then promoted as an out now, because all of the graphics that were done for the pre-order now become out now graphics. Simple little change when you're in Photoshop. They become out now graphics, and that book is promoted again for a solid 2 weeks. by which time it is usually time for me to have another one. Now, I do this because this is how I pay for my rent. This is how I pay my rent. This is how I pay for everything. I'm not on a benefit. I didn't get any alimony when my marriage broke up. I pay for everything and live by myself, so I pay for everything out of my earnings from my books. So I have this schedule so that Amazon knows what I'm doing, Facebook knows what I'm doing, my readers know what I'm doing. But it doesn't mean that you have to put a book out every month. I know for most people, I mean, how many times have I said to you, I haven't got a life? This is it. This little bit of my house where I type, this is where I sit 10 to 12 hours, 7 days a week to do this. And there is no way in heck I recommend anybody doing that unless they live alone like me and really haven't got much else to do. But what you can do is take those same principles and just do each section, whereas I've got 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and 2 weeks. You could be doing it, say, a month, a month, a month, or 2 months, 2 months, 2 months. However it is, it works for you. However often. Now, if you are watching this and you want to put out your first book, then what you're going to need to do is, before you put your book out, please be a member of the Facebook reader groups belonging to your genre. 5 to 10 of them will do, but please do that. Please make sure you have an author branded profile up on the social media platforms you are most comfortable with. Now, as I say, I suggest Facebook because while I know that a lot of people think, oh, Facebook is so last year. Yes, but Facebook is where the readers are. You don't find them on Instagram, who are looking at Labubu posts, and you don't find them on TikTok very often, unless you write something with a lot of smut, in which case I'll just push you over to TikTok and say, have a really good time. But that's what I mean. For me, writing in my genre with what I do, this is how I do it. A 2 week, 2 week, 2 week system. 2 weeks promoting the book before it goes on pre-order, just in casual teasers, nothing major, and just on my profile pages. 2 weeks while it's on pre-order, on my profile pages, and across a whole stack of reader groups. And then 2 weeks after my book has been released, again, across those same groups, the reader groups. And notice in that last 2 week section, when, say, for example, Scarbond is being promoted across the reader groups, in my personal profile and on my personal group and what have you, I am already starting to talk about the next book, which will be Billy Ann Cord's story from the Omega Hearts series. There you go. It's a case of having a system. I hope this hasn't sounded too garbled. I hope it makes sense. But if you break up for yourself, if you break up your marketing to start before you put your book on pre-order, while you have your book on pre-order, and then after your book's released, that will make it a bit more manageable for you. And having a system so that you can tick it off, like I've got with this piece of paper here, really will help too. Now, I'm sure I've forgotten something. It's a Friday afternoon as I'm recording this. I am absolutely shattered because I now happen to have my new releases done as I'm recording this. I have my new releases done for June, July, August, and September. And yeah, I'm exhausted. So there may have been things I've forgotten, but if there is, ask me a question down below and I will do my best to help you in any way I can. And also, you will notice all these promotion methods, they're all free, my friend. And especially when you're a new author starting out, that's the best way to be. But clearly somebody's trying to get in touch with me, and I've been chatting for long enough. So keep writing, my friends. I post long form content on Mondays and Thursdays. If you have any questions at all, please pop them in the comments below, or apparently over on my community post page. I will be sure to see it and I will answer you as best I can. But in the meantime, please keep writing, because getting to the end is one of the best feelings in the world. See you next time. Bye.